Hey, welcome back to A Day with Chessi Rae. Thank you for tuning in and thank you to my subscribers. So today we are going to be diving into the book that I mentioned in my last video, and I'm really excited to kind of get into it with you guys. Girl, wash your face. Y'all, I am 3 chapters in and this book is already wrecking me. The subtitle is Stop Believing the Lies About Who You Are So You Can Become Who You Were Meant to Be. And I don't know about you, but that all by itself, honey. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, sure, Rachel. I'm gonna do that. Because that's really good advice. Okay, so let's start off with here. The first chapter. The lie. Something else will make me happy. Wow. Straight for it, right? Just like straight to it. On my neck, sis. Thank you. I love how she pointed out that she said we live in an all or nothing society that says we need to look, act, think, and speak perfectly, just throw in the towel and stop trying altogether. And man, there is a lot of pressure to be perfect, and that can be very overwhelming. And it's almost as if we are told that if we don't emulate exactly what we've seen in media as women, we are not good enough. And that's wild to me. So to make this a bit personal, I actually had a situation recently. I was in the Target parking lot picking up some things through the drive up, which shameless plug, Target, my happy place. And I just had a breakdown. I had an emotional breakdown because I just felt like the pressures of being this perfect mom are so tough. And it's like, okay, maybe I'm not good at it. Maybe I'm not, as fit or as equipped with the things that I need because I'm struggling, because I'm hurting, because I'm overwhelmed emotionally. And I went through the motions and I dealt with those feelings, but I also realized that I needed to give myself grace. A moment of hardship is not the definition of my entire life. Yes, I am a good mother, even though I struggle at some of the basic duties of being a mom. Yes, I am a good woman, even though sometimes it's hard. And it being hard doesn't take away my value as either of those things. And we have to remind ourselves that we deserve to give ourselves grace, because we're all falling short in one area or another if we really think about it. And those of you that you're in a season of life right now where actually everything is coming together just the way you want it to, things are great, that's awesome, and praise God for that. But if you're honest with yourselves, you can say that that has not always been the case, and realistically, it probably will not stay the way it is right now for you forever. There will be times where we are going to fall short, where we are going to fail, and it's okay to give ourselves grace in those times. Sadness and pains are things that you have to sit with and get to know, or you'll never be able to move on. If we don't sit in the moments where we're feeling sad or feeling overwhelmed and get to know why we're feeling that way, get to know what's causing it, get to know what the root of it is, and also just get familiar with that emotion itself, well, we're never going to be able to overcome it. We're just going to suppress it. So the healthy thing to do is to sit with it and allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to not be okay. It's just about knowing that this is not the destination. This is a pit stop on the way. But with that being said, she goes on to say, life is not supposed to overwhelm you all the times. Life is not meant to merely be survived. It's meant to be lived. Those times where you feel overwhelmed, they're gonna come, but the reality is that that's not what life is meant to look like all of the time. We are meant to get to a place where we're thriving. She tells us straight up, like, hey, this is your life. You're the hero of your story. And as much as we may not want to hear it, if we're not happy, that's on us, You have to learn how to be happy regardless of what your circumstance looks like. You have to learn how to have joy. And joy is greater and bigger than happiness. So your joy can't come from superficial or artificial material things. It has to come from God. He is our joy, right? Okay, so chapter 2. I'll start tomorrow. I'm gonna work out tomorrow. I am gonna diet tomorrow. I'm gonna start my keto back up tomorrow. Next week. It's just like the holiday is coming up, right? And so I just have to, like, let me just get through the holiday. Oh, my birthday's coming up, so I don't need to, sure. She stepped on my neck with this one because she made me realize that I'm very good at keeping my commitments to others. Even if in the moment I tell myself I don't want to go to this event with this person, or I don't want to help this person with the thing I said I was going to help them with, but because I told them I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And so I keep my promise, right? I'm really good at keeping my promises. But I'm terrible at keeping my promises that I make to myself. That's really deep. I don't know about you. But she stepped on my neck with this one. Not gonna lie. And yeah, I have to do better. The takeaways and things that she said that helped her, we're starting with small goals. I think that's really important. Start with the things that you know you can manage, and just tell yourself like you're not gonna quit, because you deserve to keep your word to yourself. You're the most important person in your life. And slow down your yes. Stop saying yes to everything everybody else asks you to do without really considering it and thinking of it and factoring in the time that you need to commit to yourself. You know, it's like you can say yes to all these other engagements, all these other commitments, or make all these other commitments and then leave no time for yourself. But if you stop and take a second to think about it before you say yes to that person, then you have the time to think, am I leaving time for myself? Am I taking out time for myself to do the things that I know I should be doing? Okay. And then last one was be honest with yourself. Be real. Being honest, of course, now you have to be careful about how you are delivering the message, but being honest is something that, whether it's liked or not, it has to be respected because it's the truth. The facts are the facts. So, be honest with yourself. Super important. And then chapter 3, good old chapter 3. I'm not good enough, baby. How many of y'all have told yourselves that you're not good enough? Oh, I can't do this because I'm not good enough. I can't do that because I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. Oof, child. Let me drink my little water because the I'm not good enough, that's super common. And the thing is that I'm so quick to rash my friends when they show signs and show hints of telling themselves that they're not good enough, whether it be those words exactly or something that, you know, was like code for I'm not good enough. I'm quick to be like, excuse me, you don't love yourself if you're saying that, so let's do it, let's get it together. But I was telling myself that I wasn't good enough for several different things for a very long time, and I believed it. One of the things that I underlined was on page 29. It says, the most fundamental thing a woman needs to do before she can take care of anyone else, take care of herself. Sis, you have to take care of yourself. And she goes on to say, you know, that you have to be your first priority. She asks women about their priorities all the time, and they are never bad at going down the list of what their priorities are. But not often do they mention themselves, and you have to be your first priority. Everything else comes after that, and that's not selfish, that's just smart. If you are not, and this is a cliche saying, but like, I can't be good to anyone else if I'm not first good to myself, right? I have to do what I need to do for me in order to be able to give 100% to other people. And if I'm not, then I'm faking it. I hope you heard me. If you're not being good to yourself, and if you're not giving yourself 100%, then the so-called 100% you're giving to other people is fake. It's not real, honey. It's not real. So just keep that in mind. Another portion here where she stepped on my neck. She said, stop obsessing over the next victory and start to appreciate the simple parts of today. Yeah, no, for sure. It's easy to get caught up in wanting to accomplish things. Even she talks about being a workaholic. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a workaholic. But what I will say is that it's easy to keep at the front of your mind what's next. And okay, I'm now at this level. What do I need to do to get to the next? She talked about here, learning that she was a recovering workaholic, but through that process also learning that she was a child of God and that trumps everything else. And for me, the thing that dropped in my spirit when I read that was, what is my issue? And so I'm compelling those of you that are listening and watching this video now to think about that. What is your issue? What is your thing that can be solved by just realizing that above and more importantly than anything else, you are a child of God. He loves you. That is the most important part of just like life. You are a child of God. You deserve, period. Like, you deserve ... Fill in the blank with anything that you want. Anything that is good for you. You deserve. And you are loved and worthy and enough. Just being who you are. You don't have to become your wildest dream to then be worthy. You don't have to become that goal to then be worthy. You are worthy now. And so the things that she mentions here helped her. The first one was going to therapy. Baby, she talks about how she can't recommend it enough. At this point, like, just generally, therapy should sponsor me. Going to therapy, in my opinion, is like, that's the first step. That's the first step. As an adult, especially, yeah, that's the first step. Go to therapy. Like, if you're watching this and you're not in therapy, look it up. Find a therapist. And so then the next one was she hustled for joy. Work just as hard for fun moments as you do for wanting to accomplish your goals and dreams, and make sure your priorities are straight. Put you on your list, make sure that you're first on your list, and then make sure that the rest of your priorities are in order. You should be first in your priority list. We have read up till chapter 3, and I will be back in a couple weeks. I think we're going to read another 3 chapters, y'all. I would be really excited to hear from you guys. So you can let me know what you're thinking. Let me know there's specific situations in this book that can relate to where you are now, where you're going, things you've experienced in the past, how you have overcome some of these lies that, you've struggled with in the past. Or maybe some of these are ones you never even realized you were telling yourself. Or maybe you've never even told yourself these lies. Maybe some of them are not applicable. And if that's the case, shout out to you. Like, that's a great testimony to have. So make sure you follow Instagram and stuff, because I'll be posting updates and stuff there too. Have a blessed week. I hope everybody is well. I love you. Bye.